Ah, gather round, ye scallywags and landlubbers alike, for old Skullbeard's got a tale that'll curl your hair and warm your black hearts this fine frosty night. Aye, it's a story so bold, so audacious, that even the devil himself would pause his tormenting to listen. So, grab your grog, get comfy, and let me spin ye the yarn of how I, Skullbeard, pulled off the greatest heist the seven seas, or the skies, have ever known. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and the stars were shining bright, but not as bright as the gold that would soon be mine. Now I know what ye be thinking. Skullbeard, ye old sea dog, what business have ye with Christmas and Santa's gold? Well, let me tell ye, mateys, even pirates have a soft spot for the holidays, or at least for the loot that comes with them. And when I heard tell of Santa's legendary treasure filled with gold, jewels, and enough shiny baubles to make a mermaid weep, I knew I had to have it. But how, ye ask? How does a pirate, bound to the sea, reach a man who flies through the sky on a sleigh pulled by magical reindeer? That, my friends, is where the real adventure begins. You see, I've been hearing whispers in the taverns and ports, from drunken sailors and superstitious old salts, about a place far to the north, where the snow never melts and the nights last forever. A place called the North Pole, ruled by a jolly old man in red, who had more wealth than any king or emperor. And not just any wealth, magical wealth. The kind that could make a man's dreams come true or turn him into nightmares. But Santa, bless his round belly, was careless. He trusted too much in the goodness of the world, never thinking a pirate like me would dare to challenge him. So, I gathered me crew, the fiercest, most cunning bunch of cutthroats ye ever did see, and we set sail for the frozen north. The journey was treacherous, mateys. The seas were angry, the winds howled like banshees, and the cold? Oh, the cold was something else. It bit into your bones like a shark's teeth, and the ice was everywhere, threatening to crush our ship like a twig. But we pressed on, driven by the promise of Santa's gold. And after weeks of battle in the elements, we finally reached the edge of the world, or so it seemed, a vast, frozen wasteland where the snow sparkled like diamonds under the pale moonlight. Now, here's where things get interesting. We knew we couldn't just march up to Santa's workshop and demand his treasure. Oh no, that would be suicide. Santa might be jolly, but his elves? They're a different story. Tiny, quick, and deadly, with a bow and arrow they are. And don't even get me started on the reindeer. So we needed to plan, something cunning and sneaky. And that's when I had me brilliant idea. We'd disguise ourselves as elves. Aye, ye heard right. A band of burly, bearded pirates dressed up like Santa's little helpers. It took some doing, mind ye. We had to shave our beards. Well, most of them. Stuff our boots with rags to make us shorter, and paint our faces with soot to look more elvish. And let me tell ye, nothing makes a pirate feel more ridiculous than prancing around in green tights and pointy shoes. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and the promise of Santa's gold was worth a bit of humiliation. So, there we were, a motley crew of fake elves trudging through the snow towards Santa's workshop. The place was something else, mateys. A sprawling village of tiny houses, all covered in snow and twinkling with lights. The air smelled of gingerbread and peppermint, and the sound of hammers and laughter filled the night. It was almost enough to make a pirate feel festive. Almost. We slipped into the workshop, blending in with the real elves as best we could. And let me tell ye, it wasn't easy. The real elves were quick and efficient, working like a well-oiled machine. We, on on the other hand, were clumsy and slow, bumping into things and dropping toys left and right. But we managed to keep up the ruse long enough to scope out the place. And that's when I saw it. The treasure room. A massive vault hidden behind a curtain of twinkling lights, filled to the brim with gold, jewels, and all manner of shiny treasures. But here's the thing, mateys. Santa's treasure wasn't just guarded by elves and reindeer. Oh no, he had something far more dangerous protecting his loot. A massive, hulking beast of a man. Well, more like a giant. Made entirely of snow. Aye, a snowman. But not just any snowman. This one was alive, with coal-black eyes that glowed like embers, and a carrot nose that could sniff out trouble from a mile away. And he was standing guard right in front of the treasure room. Now I've faced me share of monsters and beasts in me time, but this was something else. How do ye fight a creature made of snow? Ye can't stab it, ye can't shoot it, and ye certainly can't outrun it. But I'm Scowlbeard, and I don't back down from a challenge. So I did what any self-respecting pirate would do. I improvised. I turned to me crew, who were looking at me with a mix of fear and confusion, and I whispered, "Lads, we're gonna need a distraction. Something big, something hot." And that's when it hit me. The one thing that could melt a snowman. Fire. We snuck into the workshop's kitchen, where the elves were baking up a storm for Christmas Eve. There were ovens roaring with heat, pots of boiling candy, and enough flour and sugar to sink a ship. And right in the middle of it all was a massive cauldron of molten chocolate, bubbling and steaming like a volcano ready to blow. I grinned at me crew. "Lads, I think we found our distraction." We waited until the real elves were busy elsewhere. Then we struck. With a mighty heave, we tipped that cauldron over, sending a river of molten chocolate flooding across the workshop floor. The snowman, hearing the commotion, came lumbering in, his glowing eyes widening in surprise as he saw the chocolate coming right for him. And then, well, let's just say the snowman met his match. The chocolate hit him like a tidal wave, melting him into a puddle of slush and leaving nothing but his coal eyes and carrot nose behind. The elves screamed, the reindeer stomped, and Santa himself came running in, his face red with anger. "Who did this?" he boomed, his voice like thunder. "Who dared to disturb me workshop on Christmas Eve?" And that's when I stepped forward, me fake elf costume barely holding together, and tipped me hat to the old man. "Evening, Santa," I said with a grin. "I believe ye be holding something that belongs to me." Santa's eyes narrowed, and he looked me up and down. "Scowlbeard," he said, his voice low and dangerous. I should have known. "But ye won't get away with this. Me treasure is protected by more than just a snowman." And with that, he snapped his fingers. The workshop went dark, and suddenly we were surrounded. Not by elves, not by reindeer, but by toys. Aye, mateys, toys. But not just any toys. These were the toys that Santa had brought to life. The ones that had been naughty instead of nice. There were dolls with knives for fingers, soldiers with guns that fired real bullets, and teddy bears with claws sharper than a pirate's cutlass. We fought. Oh, how we fought. Me crew and I, back to back, battling our way through a nightmare of living toys. But we were pirates, mateys. We were born for this. And, with a mighty roar, we broke through their ranks and made a dash for the treasure room. The door was locked, of course, but a few well-placed gunshots took care of that. And there it was, Santa's gold, shining and gleaming in the dim light. Chests overflowing with coins, jewels sparkling like stars, and enough treasure to make a king weep. We loaded up as much as we could carry, laughing and whooping like the mad pirates we were. But Santa wasn't done with us yet. As we made our escape, he stood in the doorway, his eyes blazing with fury. "Ye may have me treasure, Skullbeard," he shouted, "but ye won't have it for long. I'll hunt ye down, I will, and when I find ye, you'll regret the day ye ever crossed me." I turned to him, me arms full of gold, and tipped me hat again. "Aye, Santa," I said with a grin, "but by the time you find me, I'll be long gone. And besides, what's Christmas without a little adventure?" And with that, we vanished into the night, leaving Santa standing there, his workshop in ruins, his treasure gone, and his pride wounded. We made our way back to the ship, our pockets heavy with gold, and set sail for warmer waters. "Now I know what ye be thinking. Skullbeard, ye old scoundrel. Did you really steal Santa's gold? And did he ever come after ye? Well, mateys, let's just say that Santa and I have an understanding. I took his treasure, but I also left him with a little something in return. A chest of me own gold. Enough to keep his workshop running for another year. And as for whether he came after me, let's just say that every Christmas Eve I keep a sharp eye on the skies, just in case. But that's a story for another time, mateys. For now, let's raise a glass to the greatest heist the world has ever known. To Santa's gold, to me cunning crew, and to the spirit of adventure that lives in all of us. And remember, the next time ye hear sleigh bells on a quiet Christmas night, it might not be Santa coming to town. It might just be old Skullbeard making his escape with another ship full of treasure. Ah, the life of a pirate. It's never dull, is it? Now, who's ready for another tale? The night is young, and the sea is full of stories.